Welcome back to the Imaginary Gallery. It is TJ, your host, here again. Tonight I'm going to incorporate a suggestion by one of you viewers out there in the YouTube world. I'm going to tie it into a different topic which it relates to. And what that topic is, which is a question many of us find ourselves asking, is, should I warn the narcissist's new target of what he or she is getting into? That's the question. Have you ever had that question or decided to act upon the question by doing so? Well, my response to that question would be, first off, it depends on who you are, which even that may not make a difference. Let's just say you know of a cluster B person, whether it's someone you were just with or someone your best friend was with, and you see it working on the latest target, and you see that and think he or she has no idea what he or she is getting into, because we have some of us with empathy have a natural desire to help our fellow man or woman. Like if you go into a store and the service is horrible and your food's rotten and whatever else, you might walk out of the store and see strangers walking towards it, and you might say, don't go in there, it's disgusting. Not because you're getting anything out of it, not because you're going to gain personally, it's just you were just burned and you don't want anybody else, no matter who they are, to be burned. Well, that's so different from the cluster B. Keep that in mind when we answer this question. As far when I answer this question, there's just one of me, but if you're just a friend and you happen to know firsthand that this person's a monster, I would suggest the best thing is not to say anything like, hey, that new person you're with is no good and trash, you need to get rid of. I wouldn't say anything like that. I would simply just advise the person to be careful, and if they need any type of advice or assistance, you're there. But you wouldn't really want to go into details, because it's for the same reason that, say, it's your ex-lover. You just broke up or got discarded, and this was only after you uncovered lie after lie after lie after horror after horror after horror and all kinds of crap that is just like way too much for any one person to handle. It can be a natural tendency for you to want to reach out to the next potential target, because you may not want to, because you may just think that there was something wrong with you that caused it to go bad. But if you've had experience with these people, you know that this person's story is always the same. The characters change, but the story is the same, because the cluster B people do not see anything is wrong with their behavior. They feel that all their failed thousands of relationships in the same month are all because someone else did something wrong, not them. They would never do anything wrong. And they try to convince the new target of this, and this is why I'm saying, if you're the ex or even if you're the friend, it may not be a good idea to say anything, really. I wouldn't say good job, or I wouldn't say wrong. I would just be neutral, because what tends to happen is, you have to keep in mind, this cluster B magician, or whatever it is a magician and will spin reality in any way it sees fit, without any kind of guilt, any kind of shame. So the sky's the limit. So chances are this new target is completely enthralled in this new cluster B monster in disguise. So the problem with this is, which I've experienced a few times with a few of them, they were so love bombing and so sweet and nice. I figured there's no way anybody could ever not like this person. So if somebody came up and said, that person you're with is no good, I would be like, ha, you're just jealous. That person's jealous. I'm so happy. And that's exactly what the narcissist cluster B is aiming for. Because remember, they're like the granny who spoils you. They're doing way more than any other regular person, even your own friends and family, would do for you. So they know they've got like a higher ranking in your life. And again, it's just all to disguise their true intentions. But the reason I would say either friend or ex not to really make a big deal, especially like if you do, like say, oh, there's something I have to tell you, that person you're seeing, oh, you're going to look crazy. You know why? Because the narcissist cluster B already knows this is a potential danger or risk, so it's already been covered. In fact, chances are the narcissist, with no shame, will have told the new person, which is what I experienced, where they're like, oh, my ex-lover was so abusive and terrible, and I don't even know if I believed it, but they'll do that. And so if they do that, and then you start calling frantically to the person, oh, I have to talk to you, oh, they're going to hear that and remember what the cluster B said and think, you know what, you're crazy, click, because they're brainwashed, just like I was brainwashed at one point. I questioned someone about the person I was with, just believing there's nothing wrong with this person I'm with, but I just said for fun to the person, hey, am I with the right person or not? And I heard a statement that indicated that I probably wasn't, but it really wasn't clear, and that's what I would recommend, because you don't want to be assertively or aggressively saying that person is trash, because chances are you've already been painted as the crazy ex, or if you're just the friend, you're the crazy paranoid friend. So either way, it doesn't work for you. You have to just sit back and let nature take its course, and when that person comes crying to you saying, why didn't you tell me? You can say, well, I tried to hint at it, but it was not my place. Because again, when you're in that spell that they cast, somebody could tell you, hey, you're with the murderer, and you'll find a way to dismiss it because you don't want these feelings to end if you're being dragged or drugged under the influence of this type of person. And actually, you may end up doing more harm than good, because if you actively chase after your friend saying, stay away from him, it only reinforces the fact that you're crazy and may push them together closer. And he'll be like, I'm so sorry you have to deal with such jealous people. I don't know what's wrong with it. And of course, it's all part of the game. But you will not notice at first. You'll think that you just happen to stumble across the most perfect person, and you want to believe that really happened, that you're so lucky, even though you're one of many lucky people who feel the very same way. But that's covered in other places. And I didn't mention the flying monkeys as well. And this ties into another viewer. The deal with these people, especially like if you're the ex, and I'd said just stay out of it, sit back and let nature take its course. Well, these people, remember, aren't regular people. They are like running a secret personal business. And that business includes flying monkeys, which includes many of your friends and close acquaintances that they've moved in on and sent Facebook friend requests to and have chatted with behind your back on multiple occasions and said, please don't tell you about this. But they've already built up their case. And what many times happens in these relationships, if you want to call them that, are that these people will do what they do. You'll uncover all kinds of filth, and you'll be like, I can't believe it. And anytime if you try to discuss it and say, how could you do that after we said this? And you'll get no answer. You'll get some retarded response. So the parts you don't see are that this same person has been working on the other flying monkeys around you, which is especially the ones closest to you. And probably, I think I mentioned this in another video, but once you start to realize you're dealing with a rat, you're going to start like stating your case more and more, and of course they'll deny every single piece, and then you'll get more evidence to say, stop, you can't tell me this is not what happened because of blah, blah, blah. Well, at this point, they're already telling your friends and families and your the flying monkeys, they're saying, he's starting to become unstable. He's been really abusive to me. I don't know what's wrong with him. I think he needs help. And that's one they love. He needs help. Right, projection. This one needs help, but isn't going to get it. I did a video about how to detect a potential narcissistic abuser, and someone which I won't say a name of, but actually posted a comment here saying I should discuss this particular part, which leads into what I just mentioned. So remember, you're dealing with a magician, a monster who spins all kinds of false realities, has an override button on reality, so says things you would never expect to hear if you heard them, but these things are said to other people, and this person is experienced at gaining other people who are gullible trust, so they're going to have a case already built about you if you're like the X. So when you're going through the discard or the evil breakup or whatever, you may go to your friends or peers and tell them, oh, this is what happened, oh, that's what happened, oh, and the problem is, no matter what word choice you use, these people, if they have not experienced such a situation, it's like completely over their head. They just think, well, I heard that he was losing it. Oh, well, I just think you're losing it, because they have no other alternative to compare this to, because if they haven't experienced this kind of thing, they're just going to think you are off your rocker, even though you never were before, and until this person entered, but they don't seem to think it through that much. But the narcissist, or cluster B, does have a habit and a way of making you look like the crazy X. Because what's really happened is the narcissist came into your life, lied to you, pretended, lured you in, sucked you dry, and then told everybody else you were so abusive and left you and found someone new. Well, when your narcopath is with its new person, it might see one of the old flying monkeys and say, he needs help, he's just mad because I found someone who really understands me. He didn't. He criticized me all the time. And, of course, it won't be mentioned that the criticism came from the fact that he found out that the narcissist was a fraud, but it'll just be general, and the flying monkeys will be like, oh, you poor thing, I'm so sorry. Yes, he does need to get over it. And then they'll even tell you, you need to get, and it's like, you are brainwashed or brainwashed. But that's what they love to do. It's the creation of drama. So that is all for the evening, but leave your comments and your experiences, because it is a different kind of person you're dealing with, so your normal techniques and tactics just don't work. In fact, they may even create more of a problem, but peace and peace.
I'm sorry I have to break it to you like this, but yesterday, I'm afraid I just decided and realized that I'm a lesbian. So
I'm a lesbian.
I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. So
I just discovered yesterday and realized that I'm a lesbian. So as far as you and me getting together, I'm afraid it's not going to happen. Oh, there's nobody else. Oh no, it'll always be you in my heart. But I just thought you should know. I'm a lesbian now. I can't help it. I will always cherish the time we spent together. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me, because I'll always